You're listening to Blast Podcasting, episode 25.
JRPG games on the Switch. Hey guys, this is Anthony.
This is Xander.
Shoot. You know what I'm not doing today?
What are you not doing?
Not playing The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I've
heard playing it.
I've heard good things about it though. I've heard some pretty interesting things. I admit though, I'm not a huge Last of Us fan. Like, I didn't think the first one was as good as everyone says it is. Well, wow, we're starting this show very confrontational.
Yeah. Well, hey. That's what we kind of do here once in a while. It's okay. You know, I didn't like that game. Well, no, I liked it. It was solid, but it didn't. I just look. Naughty Dog's good storytellers. Okay. Like Uncharted is the modern day Indiana Jones. I'll say that. We don't get that in film. We get that. It really is. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And it captures that feel really great because Naughty Dog captures that. But with The Last of Us, it felt like, let's make a dark, depressing game. And it just felt forced to me. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, going to get all pissy. But it's just, I have played so many games. And I know it's not fair comparing to like 80-hour RPGs, JRPGs like we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But I have played games with better stories, even shorter games than that.
Yeah, my thing is this. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Last of Us is a good game. Some people tell me, like, oh my God, it's like the best storytelling I've ever seen in a video game. And I'm like, well, how many video games have you played with stories? Because I've played some really good story-driven games. And that's my thing. I mean, it's not a bad game. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about revisiting it just to show to my girlfriend. Because she likes story-driven games like that. I think she would really dig it. But other than that, I mean, when it comes to Last of Us 2, I'll probably just wait for it to go on sale and check it out. But I do want to finish the first one again before I play the second one. Because I haven't played Last of Us since 2012 on the PS3. So it's been a while.
Yeah, I probably won't get it. It's just, like I said, I'll give you an example. I'm playing AI, the Somnus Files.
Mm-hmm.
And while that game has some levity to it, I feel that game's much more darker and captures the darker themes better than Last of Us ever did. And yeah, it's a visual novel. You can't really compare it, but I feel like there's more complexity and depth to that game.
Yeah.
In terms of its story. And yeah, I mean, it's a visual novel. I mean, its gameplay is limited to some quick time events for action sequences and things like that. But even at that, I feel like, I'm playing Yakuza 0 now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm playing this, and I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we talked about last time. And I just am playing, and I have a ton of other games. Like, I even got Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered for the Switch. I have tons of games that, in my opinion, probably have better stories than The Last of Us.
Well, I'm playing a game right now that I definitely wanted us to talk about real quick, because I feel like this game, this is a game that's been under my radar for years, but I never owned a Vita, and I know the Vita has a definitive version of it. But this game is very nostalgic to me because it makes me think of like when I first met you and we were first talking. But I finally got into Persona 4 Golden on Steam.
God, I love that game.
Yeah, that game, I'm about 4 hours into it. I'm not that far. It's finally starting to open up. I mean, if anyone hasn't played, Persona games, there are slow burns. But the story, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of it almost makes you think of an anime version of the Goonies, almost.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I'd say I've played I've played every single one. The first two are kind of, I don't even know. They're different from the other three. It's really three where it kind of got its vibe that we know now. They're all like that. Yeah.
It's just like that, like teenagers solving a crime mixed with some demons and a cult, and it's just kind of like, hey, let's become best friends, and this is going to help my my persona might like breed more demons. So it's almost got like a Pokemon effect to it as well. I mean, it's got so much to it that I would highly recommend it. I mean, if you buy it on Steam right now, you can get it for like $20, and there are some promo codes floating around that you can get it for like 15. That's what I got it for like $15, and I'm actually planning on playing it right after we're done with the show because I haven't had a chance to tackle it lately. But that's been a lot of fun. Something else I wanted to talk about too is
real quick. I have
yeah,
Persona 5 Royal
yeah,
because I beat Persona 5. You need to get Royal if
that
you love
yeah,
4.
yeah. I was planning on getting Royal. I mean, when they come out with like definitive editions, like Persona 4 Golden or Persona 5 Royal, I always go with like those versions because I know. Like even when I posted about Persona 4 Golden on social media, one of my friends was like, "Yeah, I'm fine with my PS2 copy," and I'm like, "Yeah, but the PS2 copy is like the vanilla version now. Like I don't want to play a vanilla version, you know."
I've played both. I have played both. I still own my copy of the PS2 version,
Yeah,
and I will tell you that there, the game, it's still complete on PS2, but the difficulty spikes are ridiculous in it. Whereas Golden fixed that tremendously.
that's good to know.
Because there is one boss in particular that I fucking hated in the original, and I was dreading when I got to it in Persona 4 Golden, and it was challenging, but it wasn't as ridiculously hard as it was in the PS2 version.
Yeah,
If that makes sense. So
yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, and I'm that weird guy because I got Vanilla, Persona 5, and Royal both sitting on my hard drive.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense because, I mean, like, yeah, it's Persona 5. When it first came out, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm going to play this. And then, we weren't expecting to get a definitive version, but here we are with Persona 5 Royal. And what I like about it is, like, Persona 4 Golden was only exclusively on the Vita, and now many people can play it on other platforms like on Steam. Because I mean, Steam is widely available, and I'll let you guys know if you don't have a powerful PC, it's okay. You can still play the game. The game's not. It's not that. It's not that much power to run it on a PC.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
But speaking of power, for those of you guys who are still listening after we started the show with the Last of Us rant, let's talk about the PS5 that was just announced last week from our recording. And what did you think about the PS5? What do you think about it, Anthony?
It's got a pretty good lineup. I mean, there's a lot of questions about it. Prices, this digital edition. How big is the hard drive? Is it going to be a big important point in all of this?
I agree.
That's I think that's the most important thing is the hard drive, because look at how big the games. Okay, let's look at the beginning of this gen. Games are what, 23 gigs at the beginning of this gen, right?
Yeah.
Now you got what? Okay, go back to Last of Us. From what people have told me, it's 100 gigs.
Yeah.
People told me, remember Final Fantasy VII Remake? That's 100 gigs.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption 2, another 100 gigs. Look at the size of these fucking games now.
Yeah, 1 terabyte hard drive is going to be nothing for this next gen.
Now, let's be honest. I'm sure there's going to be tons of those little tiny, 1 gig fucking indie games on there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a given. But for someone who plays AAAs, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. It's going to be a big issue. I'm playing the waiting game. I'm probably not going to get it until sometime next year. I got plenty of backlog to play. And, one of the things I did notice about the PS5 reveal, and this kind of segs away into our main topic, of course, is they didn't show a whole lot of JRPGs for the PS5 launch stream. And I think I know why, and I think you can agree with me a little bit with this, Anthony. It's kind of hard to showcase a JRPG to a broad audience.
Depending on what it is. If it's Final Fantasy, yeah, you can get away with it.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. If it's like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, I feel like it's a little easier. But some JRPGs, I feel like it's kind of hard to throw out there because some of them are so outlandish, and there's still people out there that are not big fans of JRPGs. So I think maybe Sony was just kind of like, let's show some other eye candy.
Well, there was that Square Enix game,
Yeah,
and is the Luminous Japanese?
actually, it is. It is.
Okay, so maybe that one.
Luminous actually was, gosh, I can't remember the developer's name. It was his company. He's not with Square Enix anymore, though. I cannot remember.
The Final Fantasy 15 guy.
Yeah, that was his company.
Okay, so that's good, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, look, though, I think Japanese developers are still in a good spot, though, because we did get... I mean, look at Capcom, the comeback they've made in the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, look at, what was it? Resident Evil 8.
Oh, yeah, that looked fun.
Yeah. I mean, you play as Chris, and... I mean, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I said, though, it's all about for now, it's all about the price and the waiting game and to see how well the consoles are doing when they first come out. I mean, you got the early adopters that are going to be kind of like the retail guinea pigs of the new console. If there's any problems, they're going to be the first ones to do it, and I don't really want to be that first person, so I got plenty of time to wait. I still got my Switch, my PS4. I'm happy.
I never buy games at launch.
Yeah.
I buy games at launch all the time. What the fuck am I talking about? Never buy consoles at launch. The only time I ever did was I got a pre-release. I got a Vita before launch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one of those pre-launch Vitas. Remember those?
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, I got a pre-launch Vita. And then, which ironically I got because of Persona 4 Golden. That's the main reason I got it. Yeah. But I had other good times on it. But anyway, I digress. The point I'm trying to make is, I don't buy consoles. I bought my PS4 about a year after launch. I got my Switch almost a year after launch.
Yeah, isn't it crazy to think that we're like almost about 3 years and some change into the Nintendo Switch? It doesn't feel like it's been out that long.
It doesn't, but you know what? I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to go longer than the average 5-year life cycle.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I mean, because let's face it, we love video games, but it's a very expensive hobby. So,
yes, it is.
But yeah, going into the meat and potatoes of this episode, we decided, at first we were going to have like kind of a retrospective of the Switch, like kind of like what we had last year. But I was like, let's talk about some JRPGs because I think you can agree, Anthony, that JRPG machine is the Nintendo Switch right now. I mean, other than the PS4, like the Switch is a JRPG machine. It's got so many great games from ports to remakes to brand new shebangs. It's on the Switch.
It's hard for me to say that because the PS4 has its own variety of things.
Yeah.
But then again, the Switch does. So I'll say this about this gen in general. JRPGs are fucking back and alive, unlike they were last gen.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So as for the Switch, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's some great shit.
And I think the reason why the Switch resonates with me so much, and the reason why I'm like, it's the JRPG machine, is because it's the JRPG machine for me. Wow, that was a lot to say. It's for me because I like the portability and being able to play it on the television as well. Because JRPGs are such an investment. Like even Persona 4 right now that I'm playing, I have to make specific times to sit down and play that game because there's a lot going on in that game. You can't save any time. You have to find safe spaces and safe spots. And the Switch is great for that because you can play it, on slow days at work. You can play it on road trips. You can play it, hell, when you're sitting on the toilet. It doesn't matter. And then when you're not playing it there, you can go back and play it on your television and play it more of a traditional console experience. And that's one of the reasons why, even when games are coming out for the PS4 and the Switch, I end up saying I'm going to get the Switch port because I know for sure I can play it a lot more, get more bang for my buck, as opposed to the PS4.
Exactly. I'm the same way. I buy. What's crazy is the Switch changed the way I buy third-party games.
Yeah.
For the most part, if they're like, fuck it, dude, I bought The Witcher 3.
Yeah. Which is insane to think about.
Yeah, and it's a good port.
Like The Witcher 3 is on the Switch. That is insane.
I know. Yeah, I know that's a Western RPG, but come on, man, it's still the same principle, you know?
Yeah. And you know what's really funny is, did you know the first game that was announced for the Switch was a JRPG? Do you know what game that was?
Octopath Traveler.
Nope.
What?
This is before it was the Nintendo Switch, back when it was the codename Nintendo NX. This was at, I believe, the 2015 E3 when they announced Dragon Quest XI. They said it was coming out for the Nintendo NX.
That's right.
That was the first, like, confirmed, even though we didn't get it until years later, that was actually the first confirmed title for the Nintendo Switch at that time.
And it's the definitive port.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, yeah, we got it after the PS a year afterwards, but it's the definitive port. And I have it completely downloaded sitting on my Switch. Like I do tons of JRPGs, which is great.
Yeah, I still need to beat the demo to Dragon Quest XI so I can go and play the actual game, because the demo does carry on. All your experience from the demo carries on to the actual game, so I need to do that. And the demo is pretty long, too. You're looking at 15 hours. The first 15 hours of the game is the demo. So, I mean, I really want to tackle that. But there's a lot of great JRPGs. I mean, you mentioned Octopath Traveler. I think that's an excellent exclusive for the Switch. Well, it's not exclusive anymore. It's not exclusive anymore because it's coming out, if it's not already out, on Steam. But that's a man. Talk about a walk down memory lane. Let's talk about Octopath Traveler for a second. This is, to me, one of the biggest love letters to old school JRPG fans.
Yeah, and I know did you have issues with it or no?
No.
I know. I thought you traded it in or something.
Yeah, I ended up trading it in just because I was getting more games. But I didn't trade it in because I didn't like it. I traded it in just because I was like, all right, I'm going to move on. But if someone was to say, hey, Xander, I want a good JRPG on the Switch, that would probably be one of the first ones I pick is Octopath Traveler.
I got that one. I rebought it, actually.
I've been debating that myself, actually, of rebuying it.
So you got Octopath Traveler. That's one of the big ones.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yep.
And
I haven't played it.
You know, I have a love and hate relationship with Xenoblade Chronicles. There are things that I really like about the series, and there are some things that I feel like are kind of cumbersome. And I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten Xenoblade Chronicles 1, because I played it on the Wii. I never beat it. But I do hear the definitive version on the Switch added so many new qualities of life, added so many new aspects to it. They say that like it's so much better than it is on the Wii, which I'm pretty happy to hear about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say get it on sale, but, Nintendo games never go on sale, so...
Yeah. It's going to be a little while. It's going to be a little bit, but that's fine because I got more games I'm playing right now. But also you had, the Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 on the Switch, which is freaking amazing. Also 10 and 12. So you can get 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, not 11. Wouldn't that be crazy if Final Fantasy 11 was on the Switch?
That would be nuts.
Oh my god.
And in a sense, you can get 15.
Yeah. The Pocket version.
And then
Did you ever play that?
No.
Okay, because I almost went and got it, because to me it feels almost like a demake of Final Fantasy 15, like a PS1 version of Final Fantasy 15. It seems kind of interesting.
I don't know how to feel about it, because I know the original gets knocked a lot, but I like the original a lot more than most people do.
Okay, don't knock on knock. But yeah. I mean, I've had that under my radar. And then of course you got freaking Ease 8. Ease
Yeah, I
8.
have the Ys 8. That's one I've got.
That's really really good. And what are some JRPGs that you really enjoy on the Switch?
Oh, well, I got fucking tons of them. Okay, let's talk about one. Is it a JRPG? It is a JRPG. It's Japanese, obviously, but it's a strategy role playing game. Do those count?
Yeah, those count.
Okay, one of my favorite games of last year was Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, I still need to play that.
You got to. That game's fucking awesome. And you know what? I
Yeah.
kind of looked ahead after I beat the first scenario, and they make each scenario different. That there's a different final boss.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got tons of replay value. And now you have like an extra house now. I think there's like 4 houses now.
Yeah, I have the DLC. I bought the DLC and everything.
Wow.
So, yeah, that game, I mean, I spent about 60, 70 hours on one game playthrough. One playthrough.
That's so crazy.
So think about it. What you can do. There's actually 4 paths. One house has 2 paths.
That's insane.
So there's that. And then there's 2 more paths plus the other ones. And then there's so much replay value because if you choose female, it's different. If you choose male, it's different. It's crazy.
Do you ever feel like that the oversaturation of like choices and stuff like that? Do you ever feel like that's too much in the game though?
No, because there's always if I feel if there's more to do, and if it doesn't interest me, I won't do it as long as it's optional.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I always like deep down, I always want to be like a completionist, but I know it's a pipeline dream
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have the time for it. But I always feel like there's like a part of me that kind of eats at me when I'm like, man, I beat the game, I beat it my way, but I kind of wish there was other things I would have done, and sometimes I don't get a chance to go back to that game, and I kind of resent myself for it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, okay, so with the house I beat, that's a good point. I always play my Fire Emblem modes on classic, where
Yeah.
characters die. I don't play the no, I don't play the oh well they'll survive. And plus, there's a time rewind mechanic too that helps out with that this time.
Yeah.
But I, one of my guys died right away,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot to use that time mechanic. So I kind of want to play because you as you get to one of the things about Fire Emblem is you could get to grow the relationships. He was having an interesting backstory, then he dies in battle.
Oh no.
So it's just even little things like that.
Well, speaking of Fire Emblem, I'll mention a game that's a collection that I highly recommend. I did a review of it on my channel, and that's Landgrazer 1 and 2.
I have it.
It is really really good. I know some people kind of knock the sprite work on it. You can go back to more of a retro kind of look, but it just does the landscapes and the music. It doesn't change like the way the sprites, like your characters look. Your characters still look the same, but I think it's a really fun strategy RPG, and I
I
feel
heard the
like
story's really good.
yeah, it's very good, and I love the fact that strategy RPGs are a lot of fun on the Switch because it's got like that pick up and play sort of
Yeah.
aspect to it. I feel like those games really shine on that platform. From what I hear, if you're listening, guys, I'm hearing the physical is a little harder to come by, but digital, I mean, you get 2 really really fantastic games for
Agreed.
I think like for like $40.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
Let's see what else we got. I haven't played it. I got so many games I haven't played. So I got the port of Star Ocean 1.
I still need to play that.
But I want that port. I want to port of fucking Star Ocean 2.
Yeah, I mean, even the Nintendo Online has some JRPGs. The Breath of Fire games. It's got 1
You
and
know,
2.
I was playing through Breath of Fire 1. I guess I kind of stopped, but it's really not too bad. It's pretty straightforward. It's not nothing too mind-blowing, but it's fun enough.
Do you think that game has aged well over the years, or you think it's just kind of like eh?
It's aged okay. Like, story-wise, it's kind of,
Yeah.
but it's not bad. But I'm always the guy who says, the last two real Breath of Fire games,
Yeah.
3 and 4, we never talk about Dragon Quarter, um,
Yeah.
are the best ones. Especially 3. I have a very fond spot for 3.
Yeah.
And I never play 2, but you can play 2.
Yeah, it's on the Super Nintendo collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also the Switch has the definitive, in my opinion, the definitive version of Phantasy Star, the original. I'm actually about
Yep.
to talk about that. I'm making a video very soon talking about retro games to play on the Switch, because everyone talks about how like the Switch doesn't have Virtual Console, but it does have a Virtual Console. It's called the eShop. there's a lot of great retro games that are on the Switch that you can get, and one of it is from the Sega Ages collection.
Which
And
is
it's
odd. They're
yeah,
kicking ass with that.
I love the Sega Ages, man. Like, just about every Sega Ages game comes out, I end up buying it. But their version of Phantasy Star, in my opinion, is the most definitive way to play it, because, of course, it has an assist mode, which gives you more experience, gives you more money, in case you just want to kind of blow through the game. But also, the biggest thing that I love about this version is it has a map. You can actually see where the hell you're going. See, back in the day, folks, if you played the original Phantasy Star, unless you had a guide, you had to draw out the way the maps were. You had to draw out the dungeons.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy about that game is that game's archaic as fuck if you play it on the Master System.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you where to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even tell you like the first guy in your party member, in your team, the first party team member, like Odin, being a stone and being like, okay, well, what do I do about this?
And then, well, you're always going to run into that guy. Well, you're not really playing the game with the assist mode. Fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Some games haven't aged well, man. That's the thing. Some people need to admit that some of these fucking games haven't aged well, and you need quality of life shit.
And see, here's the thing too. I agree, and I'll also throw this in there too. If you can make an old IP more inviting to a new audience, guess what? You're going to get more stuff from that IP in the future, because companies are going to say, "Holy shit, this is selling really well. I think we can make some more money if we make a new game." Boom, there you go.
Exactly. And I'm happy to say that I own all 4 of the original Phantasy Stars on the Switch. That Genesis collection had some JRPGs on there.
Yep, it had Phantasy Star 2 through 4. It also has the Shining Force games.
Shining in the Darkness, people forget.
Yep, and also, was it Burning Oasis?
No. Beyond Oasis, which I beat last summer for the first time, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a little monotonous towards the end a little bit, but it's really a fun game.
And then you got Landstalker.
Isn't that the predecessor to Alundra?
Yeah, I was just about to say that about Alundra, which I still have never played an Alundra game.
Yeah. But yeah, you got all those on that Genesis collection.
Yeah. It's insane when you really think about how many JRPGs the Switch has.
Fuck yeah. What else we got? Grandia collection. Yep. I have those.
I still haven't gotten that. Now how is the Grandia collection on the Switch? Because I know some people have talked about kind of not really digging the remastered or how they did the sprite work. They say it's a little too smudgy to make sense.
It's fine. What do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect from putting those little sprites in HD?
Yeah, it's true.
And then plus Grandia 2 doesn't use sprites.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, now I will say one JRPG port that I was not a fan of that is on the Switch, and that is the original Dragon Quest.
Oh, I don't have that.
Yeah. Here's the thing, like it's not bad. But I don't really like the way they made it look, and also it's a mobile port. And mobile games, of course, are in portrait mode, where this game is in landscape, so it looks very stretched out. Like it looks really weird on the screen. Now I hear that the Dragon Quest, the other ports they did, like I believe 3, I believe they did 2 and 3. They said it looks a little better, but the original Dragon Quest, like it looks. The only thing I do like about it is you don't have to select a command to go down the stairs. I fucking cannot stand that now.
Yeah, that's dumb. So Dragon Quest is one to avoid.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we have 11 though.
I was about to say, 11, you can go back to the 2D sprites as well on the Switch version.
Yep.
Which is
that's
really,
a new
really
way.
cool.
And that's a new way for people who have played the original on PS4 to experience it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ninokuni, I have that.
It's funny. Ninokuni is what made me buy a PS3.
Really?
Yep. I did not have any desire to get a PS3. This is back in 2012. I was just like, I'm fine with my 360. I wasn't playing a whole lot of JRPGs back then either. I was playing a lot more, believe it or not, I was playing a lot more first-person shooters and like action games.
Well, you kind of were forced to in that gen.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But then I heard about Level 5, Ninokuni, Studio Ghibli JRPG, and I'm like, oh my god. So I ended up getting the slim white PS3. I still have. It was like a 500 gig hard drive. I'm like, fuck yeah. Got that. And Ninokuni, that was the first game I got for it.
Good stuff. Ninokuni.
I still need to play Ninokuni too.
I haven't played it.
I still need to play it. It was good.
I've heard weird things about it.
The art style doesn't look as Ghibli enough for me. Doesn't look as Ghibli as the first one did.
Yeah. I don't know how involved they were in the second one. Were they involved?
I'm not sure.
Huh. Because I know that was one of the biggest things about that original game. Was the involvement of Studio Ghibli. But what can you do, right?
Exactly. Oh, and there's another game. The Tales of Vesperia on the Switch.
It now might be my second favorite Tales game. I really have fucking come to love Vesperia, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I played it on the 360.
I did as well.
That was one of the JRPGs that were on the 360. I really did enjoy it. I need to get it on the Switch because I hear it's a really, really good port.
This is for us that have played it on the 360. You know what I'm talking about. We had waited years for this version to come out. This is the legendary PS3 port that we never got in the US.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that include the extra character and Flynn actually joined your party and all that.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And then we also got Trials of Mana on the Switch.
Which I have.
It's good. I finally beat it. I kind of want to go back and change my party up because it's another one of those games where you have 8 different characters. You choose, you choose your party. They have their own individual stories, and I chose the red-haired guy. Can't remember his name, and Kevin, which is like the werewolf kid, and Charlotte. And now I kind of want to go back and play some of the other characters because I'm not a big fan of Charlotte.
Oh shit.
Charlotte's the one that replaces all of her R's with W's. Like, even when you start the game, every time you start the game, it has a person who says, Trials of Mana. She goes, Trials of Mana.
What the fuck?
And my girlfriend hates Charlotte. She's like, oh my god, you're playing that game because it's like Trials of Mana.
Well, I just picked up my Switch, Xander, to see if there was missing anything. I did pick up a game called God Wars, which is a real-time strategy game.
Yeah.
You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I never played it.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I just bought it. Octopath, Ys 8, Ninokuni. We already talked about those. Tales of Vesperia. Oh, Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Oh, yeah. That's something that I really do like is the fact that game's on the Switch. Because that game, man, like when that game was on the Wii U, it came out like right at the end of the Wii U, and we were already talking about the Nintendo NX, and I mean, it's funny because I was a big fan of the Wii U, and I know you were too. And
Hmm.
I remember telling so many people, dude, you gotta get a fucking Wii U. It's a good console. And they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to get a Wii U. And now they can actually play some of these games that were like, dude, this was fucking awesome on the Wii U. Now they can finally play it on the Switch. And we can listen to them tell us how awesome it is. I'm like, yeah, I told you that like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I know someone in particular. I used to do a podcast that can go to hell that did that. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I got another one. The World Ends With You, Final Remix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that game. Start. Oh, I have Romancing Saga 3 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, those are also on the Switch. I never played Romancing Saga. Could you tell me a little bit about that? Isn't it
Okay,
a strategy game?
no, Romancing Saga is. Did you ever play Saga Frontier on the PS1?
No, I didn't.
Okay, if anything is a successor to that series, in my humble opinion,
Uh-huh.
it is Octopus Traveler because Romancing Saga 2 in particular was very open world ahead
Mm-hmm.
of its time.
Oh, wow.
So the way it works is you are this emperor and you go to an inn and this minstrel tells the story of your ancestors and you go back in time and you play your ancestors and you keep playing your ancestors through the years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it works, and it's kind of each of your ancestors' stories.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's that one. Romancing Saga 3, I haven't played a whole lot of.
Another game that people need to play on the Switch. Cosmic Star Heroine.
Oh, yes, I have that too.
That is such a good game. It's got, here's the thing. A lot of people compare it to Chrono Trigger
Mm-hmm.
because it has that kind of feel to it. To me, though, it feels like a TurboGrafx 16 Sega CD style RPG because
Yeah.
it has those anime cutscenes and even the aspect ratios kind of like squished in, kind of like how the FMV sequences were in those games, the cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really, really good. And it's more of a sci-fi kind of feel as opposed to a fantasy RPG. It's a lot of fun, and so many times it's on sale. Like there are so many times that game's like dirt cheap, like under $10.
It's a good game. I have it.
Yeah,
I got it
you
too.
got me whipping out my Switch now. I want to see. Because I mean, yeah, I got a lot of JRPGs. I want to check out what I have real quick.
Yeah.
Because I just remember Cosmic Star Heroine. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Does
that was.
Pokemon Sword count?
I think it does. I think
Yeah, okay.
I think Pokemon, like the mainstay series, I think it's a better JRPG than people give it credit for.
Oh, they are. I agree. And I got the. You know what? The DLC that released, I got that too.
Oh yeah, I still
Yeah.
need to play Sword and Shield. I had never had a chance to play it yet.
I know a lot of people kind of wanted to shit on it, but I don't know why. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I feel like Pokemon. Like I feel like it's one of those things. Like when you actually experience it and you actually understand it, then you're like, okay, I got it now.
Hmm.
But I think some people are just turned off by like the cutesy animals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But and there's a lot of indie RPGs on the Switch as well. I'm looking
Oh,
at some of
Shining
my
Resonance.
yeah, Shining Resonance was a lot of fun.
I have that one. The Collection of Mana.
Yep. This one game right here, Bond of the Skies. I did a review of that. I would recommend that for folks that are wanting a old school JRPG game because that's what it feels like. It feels very, very old school. It's a lot of fun. It's got dragons and shit.
It's Kemco, huh? It's one of those
Yeah,
weird those Kemco games. Those company that bust out like JRPGs every month.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely got that mobile kind of feel to it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
Oh,
fun.
so are those games actually bad? The Kemco games? It's hard to say. Like I've been super skeptical of them.
I mean, I haven't played that many of them, I think this is the only one I've played, to be honest. So I can't really. I'm not a connoisseur of sorts, but I've heard a lot of them had a lot of gotcha mechanics like that. They're mobile games, and even when you're playing it on the Switch, you can tell it's a mobile game. But I mean, I really
Hmm.
enjoyed it.
Well, that makes sense.
So I believe it's a dirt cheap game too. I don't think it's that expensive. The title.
Yeah, I think I have a ton of them, but I think I've been through all of them. The Final Fantasies, we don't, we did
Yeah,
whole episodes on 9 and 8 last year and 7, so we don't need to go into those. Well, we kind of did on 7, huh?
yeah. Now, also another game that I really enjoyed, and it kind of had that Persona kind of feel to it, was the Kaluga Effect Overdose.
Oh, I've been wanting to play that. Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. I did a review of it a couple years ago on the Switch, and it has that kind of Persona, kind of like, ooh, I'm in high school sort of thing. It's fun.
Is the story pretty good?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty
Okay,
good.
I'll have to play that one. That's a good one. I'll put that on my wish list.
Indeed, indeed. Now, before we close the show, I want to
What about
ask.
Okami? Would that count? Or
Uh,
is Okami's more like Zelda?
yeah, that's more of an action game, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little
I
more
have it and
action.
I've never played it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to play it. It is very Zelda-like. I love the art style so much. I still have Okami on the PS2. I never got the HD versions, and I believe, yeah, I had Okami on the Wii actually as well.
Mm. Wasn't there an Okami on DS or something?
Yeah, the sequel, Okami Den,
Yeah.
which I had that, but I never did play it. It was one of those games that someone sent me, and I never had a chance to play it. And I don't have it anymore, so I might just download it.
Okay. That worked. Okami Den, huh?
Yeah, yeah. It was like a sequel. It was like a couple. I think it was like a couple thousand years or whatever after the first Okami. You're playing as the puppy version. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like I can't talk about it too much because I haven't played it, but it looked cool. And DS has
Yeah.
a lot of great JRPGs.
There are a lot of great RPGs. There's a lot of Western ones. Saturday Morning RPG is an Americanized one that I've praised for years and years, as you know.
Yeah, that was and that's a game that you can get dirt cheap on the Switch now.
And it's good.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Here's what I want to ask you though. Are there any JRPGs coming out in the future on the Switch that you're planning on getting?
To be honest, I don't really know what's coming out on the Switch at this point in time, other than that Paper Mario game.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, and also Bravery Default.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that game now, and I
Yep.
like Bravely Default games.
I honestly thought Octopath Traveler was going to be a Bravery Default game at first. Kind of has that
That
same style.
that company has proven themselves.
They really have.
Yeah,
Indeed,
they.
indeed.
I'm kind of wanting to play Octopath, but I'm kind of. But see, I'm playing fucking Yakuza 0. I'm 67 hours and I'm on chapter 7, Xander. I'm barely
Oh,
on chapter. I'm on chapter 7 and I'm 67 hours in Yakuza 0. Is
I
that bad?
no, that's a good thing. That means you're enjoying the game because I'm telling you, like I want to go back and revisit that game because that's to me that is my favorite Yakuza game in the series. Is Zero.
I You know what? I'm real. The story's really good. Everything about it. I really like real estate, but I'm really into the club that I have already almost beaten the cabaret club thing.
Oh yeah, the Cabaret Club. You know what's funny is I wasn't looking forward to the Cabaret Club or to real estate. I was like, these sounds like freaking side quests. I'm just gonna be like, okay, kind of like how I felt about Blitzball in Final Fantasy X, where I would just do enough that it would stop pestering me about it and just
Yeah,
go on with my life. But I found myself so addicted to the Cabaret Club and real estate mode. Oh my gosh.
yeah, they're both really good. They're good stuff.
And the story gets really, really emotional. Like it's crazy. I mean, you've played other Yakuza games, so you know about Majima and Kiryu, but you're gonna see a whole new layer of those characters in Zero, and
Yeah,
it's really interesting to see Majima before Majima.
yeah, both of them so vulnerable. Even Kiryu, like he's like fucking. Even in the other games, he's kind of like this imposing figure, but in this one, everyone kind of treats him like dirt.
Yeah, yeah. The Yakuza Zero, I feel like had like some of the best side quests. It had some of the best like play styles. I really loved the story. And I love the fact that it is a prequel to the whole series, and it's my favorite. So when people are like, "Hey, I want to get into Yakuza. What's the first one I should play?" I'm like, Zero. You should play
Yep.
Zero. Just jump
You
on
know
that.
what? You know what? I'm so happy that I was able to buy all of their games on the PS4
Yes. Yeah, I
with
have
my
them all.
stimulus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to have Fist of the North Star, but I had to sell it. But I rebought it. I actually think Fist of the North Star gets unfairly shitted on.
Yeah.
I mean, the driving parts are a little wonky, but I think it's unfairly shitted on because it's not meant to be Yakuza. That's what people forget. It's
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star. It's a whole different beast.
Yeah. And
You know, just
I think even when I was reviewing it, I think that was some of my problems because I was like, this is by the Yakuza team, and it takes a while for Fist North Star to really open up.
yeah,
It takes a couple of chapters. I think like by chapter 4 or 5, that's when you see like the night part of the city, and that's when things really start opening up and it starts feeling more like a Yakuza game.
but it's great,
It's so good. The
and I'm
la-
a big fan. And I'm a big fan of that manga.
yeah, and the last battle, oh my god, that last boss fight was a bitch.
Well, remember, I got downloadable content stuff for free. Remember?
Yeah, because that is one good thing about all these games. Like if you play Yakuza games and you keep those save files on your console, you get a lot of nice little prizes too. It's almost like RGG Studios gives you like congratulations for supporting them,
Yeah,
which I
they're
think's
cool.
awesome.
They're real cool about it. And they give you good stuff. What about Judgment?
Oh, dude, Judgment was really good.
Okay, I bought that one too. Like I said, I bought all their games. So
Yeah, Judgment was really fun. It was a breath of fresh air because one of the things I liked about it is it had that Yakuza kind of feel to it, spirit wise, but it was a totally different game. It's a lot more of a noir kind of, and some of the noir stuff gets kind of tiresome. Some of the finding clues and stuff like that. I mean, one of the things I really didn't like about the game itself was when I had to follow people. I didn't like that mode, but everything else was really, really, really good. I love the story, the boss battle. The boss battle, the Judgment, is by far my favorite boss battle in that whole studio's history. It's the
oh
boss
shit,
battle for Judgment. That is a really good fight.
I I can't wait to play that one. But I don't want to burn myself out because these games are hefty as fuck.
Yeah, and you
So I'll
will
probably move on to something else.
yeah, and you will burn yourself out in RGG games because they are so similar but yet so different. But they're similar enough that you can get some fatigue, I believe. And I think that's some of the people's problems with RGG games. So I feel like it's so awesome, and we have so many of them out now that people get kind of, they're like, okay, I'm going to play this one. I'm going to play this one. I couldn't imagine playing Yakuza 0 through 6 right now. I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah, I couldn't. But you know what they need to freshen it up a little bit?
What's that?
They're under the game that everyone has forgotten they made. Binary Domain.
Oh, I thought you were about to talk about Yakuza 7 being a JRPG.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that is a JRPG.
Oh,
but,
straight up, yeah.
But everyone forgot about Binary Domain.
Yeah, that was a really good game on the 360.
Yeah, I had it on PS3, and you know what? It's a departure.
Yeah. Well, it
I
came
mean,
out. It came out around that time that a JRPG, or not JRPG, but Japanese companies were kind of having that inspiration from Western studios. It was a very weird time.
hmm but you know what? They did a good job on it, and that I remember Binary Domain having a good fucking story too.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's like their forgotten game, you know.
yeah. I did like the fact that they did play some of the music in Fist of North Star when you're in the car.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Yeah, it would play Binary Domain music and music from Monkey Ball, which I thought was
Oh,
really
and
cool.
yeah, that's right. In Fist of the North Star, I forgot all about that.
I thought that was
I
really cool.
I wanted to get You Are Shock,
Yeah.
but I can't find it. I think it's only in the Japanese version. Probably do the licensing or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Yakuza 7. Some people are kind of like upset that they went in a different direction. That it's not like a brawler. It's a straight up JRPG, like turn based combat. I'm looking forward to that. Some of the battles, like because Majima does make an appearance in the game. That's all I'm going to say. There are some other characters that make appearances, but Majima has a special move. He's a summon. You can summon Majima in Yakuza 7, and it's like he's on top of a building and he's laughing and he's got his baseball bat and he like runs down the building vertically and like does a special move. I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome. You can summon a giant lobster to help you with this fight. It's like,
Oh
dude,
shit!
it takes all the crazy antics of the Yakuza series and throws in Dragon Quest. That's the best way to describe it because they said that was one of the biggest inspirations of the new playstyle of Yakuza 7 was the old Dragon Quest games.
Question is when we are getting it. When are we getting it?
I think we're going to get it this summer, to be honest. I could see it coming out July, August, hopefully, fingers crossed.
That's a day one for me
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'm
because
getting that.
I have every fucking game in the series.
Same. I'm looking at my collection right now. I got all the Yakuza games. Thankfully, to the HD remaster collection. I mean, I have three and 4 on the PS3, but now I have 3, 4, and 5 on the PS4.
Aren't we gonna do a whole show on this shit?
Yes, we are.
Yes. So just to let you know, but that's not our next show though.
Yeah, our next show, we're actually, and I think this is a good like little stopping spot to kind of let our listeners know what we're getting into next, is a movie that I haven't seen yet, and I mentioned it to Anthony that we should do an episode on it because I hadn't seen this movie, and they're making another cut of it, and that is Justice League.
Yeah.
I have never seen Justice League.
I did, sadly.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I know Anthony doesn't like this movie. This is going to be a lot of fun. I have never seen it, but they're releasing the Zack Snyder cut, which there's already a teaser out that shows Darkseid.
It's supposed to be a totally different movie, and it's supposed to be a mini-series from what I'm understanding. But we'll talk all about that next week.
Indeed, indeed. And if you guys enjoyed our show, be sure to not only check us out on YouTube, if you're listening to us on my YouTube page, youtube.com/XanderSkullion, but also check us out on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, just about any sort of your favorite podcast listener of choice. We're on there. And if we're not, let me know on Twitter. And that's Twitter at XS Gaming Podcast. Let me know. Be like, hey, I like to listen to my podcast on this catcher. Can you put it on there? And we'll do so. And be sure to rate us as well. Give us a review. It helps the show grow. It helps more folks find our show. And we enjoy all the support.
Yep, you guys rock, and this show is fun to do. Like, we went on a tangent about Yakuza.
Yeah, indeed. And as always, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll be blasting off to the next episode.